Hi, everyone. So let's explore in more detail the Maker's Mark private selection program, and specifically the taste profile that each of the wood staves that go into the bourbon provide to the bourbon. So a lot of people who know me on here know that Maker's Mark is definitely one of my top favorite distilleries. And a few people actually have reached out to me and asked me if I could do some kind of tutorial or just a video explaining in a little more detail what these wood staves are all about. And you know what, honestly, a lot of people don't know that I really originally wasn't quite sure myself, and I looked more into it, and I really wanted to kind of give a little bit more in-depth knowledge about what exactly they do, because people see these numbers on this bottle and sometimes just not sure what it does. I think this is a good opportunity to explore that. So just to take a step back, the Maker's Mark is a private selection program. Basically allows restaurants, liquor stores, and other establishments to basically handpick their barrel. It is a single barrel program, and what it is they can basically choose a stave combinations. There's 1,001 different combinations they can choose, but they can choose the staves that they want to basically finish this whiskey in, and we're going to go into that. So basically, what it is the Maker's Mark private selection program is an outgrowth of Maker's 46. Maker's 46 was the first wood finishing bourbon of the Maker's Mark, was the Maker's Mark distillery, and that was the very first type of profile, and that started the rest of it. So what basically this is you take Maker's Mark cask strength bourbon. So that's that bottle you see, the Maker's Mark cask strength. That's why I said when I reviewed that bottle that is the most important bottle, I think, because that's where it all starts, and either it gets watered down to make the regular Maker's Mark and or Maker's 46 with adding staves, or it gets put here to add staves for the private selection program. But it all starts with the Maker's Mark at cask strength. So cask strength for Maker's Mark ranges from 107 proof to 114 proof. In my view, I've seen most cask strength anywhere from 109, a narrower window from 109 proof to around 111 proof, roughly in that range. So then that is taken at cask strength. There are 10 wood staves that can be placed into the barrel to the cask strength bourbon, and then what happens is of those 10, you can choose a combination of 5 different wood staves. There are 5 different wood staves, and there are 10 wood staves, so you choose the combination you want. It then gets finished in their limestone cellar for approximately another 9 weeks, and then you have this bottle. So just as an example, and I thought this would be a good video to do, because in the next video that follows, as far as Maker's Mark, I'm going to be reviewing this bottle, and this is the bottle that I purchased, which I did a quick video on about a week ago. And I used a gift card for this and another bottle, and this was purchased at ShopRite Liquors of Freehold. Specifically, this is a Saker ShopRite Wine and Spirits, Freehold, New Jersey. That is their private selection bottle. This has been sitting around a while. Like, this is from March 2020. This specifically is bottle 86 of 252. So basically, and I've seen that before, I don't know if that's the exact number, but basically they get 252 bottles of this one, and I think that's about what it is for most, if not all. But that's what this is, 86 of 252. This specific proof is 111.8 proof. So that's right in that range, and I've generally seen, like I said, 109 to 110 seems to be the sweet spot, although it can range from 107 to 150. I've not seen any 107s, and I haven't seen a 114. It's generally 109 to 111 as far as I've seen, both of the just a regular Maker's Mark cask strength and these private selections as well. And also, by the way, those that kind of applies also to, just to digress for a second, those yearly special releases. I reviewed the 2023 BEP, which was my top bottles of 2023, and 2022, and going backwards that way. They're all kind of in that cask strength range. So now specifically, and then we're going to go more into detail on it. This basically has. This is their stave selections on here. And I'm going to turn the camera around in a second to show you, and we'll go into more detail about each one. But basically, the first one is the Baked American Pure. This does not have any of those staves. The second one is Seared French Cuvée. This has 2 of those. The next one is the Maker's 46, which is the one that started it all. It's got 3 in here. This is the key one. This has, and I'm going to go into a little more detail in a minute, this has the Roasted French Mocha Stave, and it's got 5 of them. The key thing with this is since this is from 2020, this has the French mocha, the roasted French mocha stave. But as of, I believe, February 2021, that stave is discontinued. It was replaced by the, I believe it's the, I have to get the name of it. It's a different, I'm going to get that, actually, I have that on the other side of this. It's a different French oak stave. But both of them kind of have that cocoa kind of chocolate feel, but they're prepared differently. I remember this was the first Maker's Mark private selection I had was from Wegmans, and it also had 5, and it had the roasted French mocha, which has since been discontinued. It's similar, the one that they replaced it with, but it's prepared differently. We'll go into that in a second. But the key number I look for is 5 or something like that. I like a high number on the roasted French mocha, or it's called the roasted, I believe, French median. But it's similar, but not the same thing. And lastly, the last stave is the toasted French spice, the 0 in this one. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to go specifically into the taste notes and tasting profiles each one provides. Okay, so you'll see the front of the bottle here, and you'll see the numbers in the order that I read them before, but we'll go into more detail on each one. So starting from the left, which is the first stave, is the Baked American Pure, or PRA, however you pronounce it. There's none of those staves in this one, but just so you understand, this was the first stave that was sampled in the program. Let me just get the camera straight here. Okay, so this was the first stave used in the program. It is American oak, slowly toasted, with notes of brown sugar, vanilla, caramel, and spice. The next one is the seared French cuvee. There are 2 staves in this one used, and that is French oak, ridge cut and seared with infrared heat, with notes of toasty oak and caramel. Now, third, the Maker's Mark that started it all. There's 3 of them in here. That's also called Stave 46. That's how they got the name. It is also seared French oak with notes of dried fruit, vanilla, and spice. Basically, as an example, if you took 10, I've seen one of these, one of these private selections. If you took 10 staves of Maker's 46 and you had 0 for everything else, you would basically essentially have cast strength Maker's 46. Just a side note, if you're going to do it that way, you might as well buy the Maker's 46 cast strength if you can find it, because it's cheaper. I mean, flat out, I think that's 40 something or 50. I think it's like $50 or something, and these are, these run from 60 up. So if you're going to do it that way, you might as well just get the cast strength Maker's 46. Just my own thought. Okay, so now to my favorite stave selection, the roasted French mocha. We got 5 of them in here. That's what caught my eye. And very important to note, since you note the date in the bottom right is March 2020, they do not, this has been discontinued, as I said before, as of February 2021. They don't let you do this for any new ones. I think if you're in the program, they can recreate it, but they don't let you do any new ones as of that time. So this particular stave is a French oak. It is cooked on high in a convection oven with notes of coffee, maple, and cacao. So I might be pronouncing that wrong, but basically it's cocoa, okay? Cacao is what creates cocoa. So it gives you that, I feel, that chocolate, kind of rich chocolate dessert, coffee kind of notes. I like that. What it was replaced with, so this bottle is going to have that, but the replacement as of February 2020 is roasted, and that is called the roasted French median, I believe it is. Which is the roasted French oak. So again, French oak. The difference is it's cooked on low in a convection oven. So that says notes of milk, chocolate, nuts, dried fruit. I think it's kind of similar. I think this one's better, though. I think this one's better, the one they discontinued, my own opinion, but it is similar. Last but not least is the toasted French spice, which there is 0 in this one. It is also French oak. It is toasted at a high heat and then, so it starts at a high heat, then low. Notes of smoke, coumarin, and spice. And there you have it. That is the Maker's Mark private selection program and what all the staves mean. And as a side note, I believe it uses the same Maker's Mark mash bill throughout the program, throughout the distillery, 70% corn, 16% wheat, 14% malted barley. Stay tuned for my next review, which we will be cracking this bottle open and reviewing it. And there's only one of a kind. Each one of these bottles is unique. They're single barrel, so we are going to crack this open and review it. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Take care.